Let's explore JavaScript Array Iteration methods. These methods provide efficient ways to process array elements, making your code more readable and easier to maintain. They're essential tools for any JavaScript developer, offering declarative approaches to common programming tasks. We will begin with forEach, a fundamental iteration method. It's a non-mutating method, meaning it doesn't change the original array. It executes a callback function for each element in the array and returns undefined. Importantly, you cannot break out of a forEach loop. Next, let's look at the map and filter methods. The map method creates a new array by transforming each element of the original array using a callback function. The new array will have the same length as the original. It's a non-mutating method, so the original array remains unchanged. The filter method, on the other hand, creates a new array containing only elements that pass a test provided by a callback function. The new array's length might be shorter than the original, and again, it's a non-mutating operation as well. The elements in the new array must satisfy the conditions specified in the callback. Now let's delve into the reduce method. The reduce method processes an array by accumulating values into a single result. This method is very powerful for transforming arrays into various data types. It takes an accumulator and the current value of the array element as parameters. You can also provide an optional initial value as the second parameter to reduce. Reduce returns a single value of any type. It can be used to build objects, arrays, or simple numbers. Importantly, the accumulator retains its state between iterations. Let's discuss the every and some methods. The every method tests whether all elements in the array pass a test provided by a callback function and returns a Boolean value. It only returns true if all elements pass the test. It stops or short circuits on the first false result. It will return true for empty arrays. The sum method tests whether at least one element in the array passes a test provided by a callback function. It also returns a Boolean value. It returns true if any element passes the test and short circuits on the first true result. It returns false for empty arrays. Now let's explore the find and findIndex methods. The find method returns the value of the first element in the array that satisfies a provided testing function. It's particularly useful when you're searching for a specific item in an array. The findIndex method, on the other hand, returns the index of the first element that satisfies the testing function. If no element is found, it returns -1. The key difference is that find returns the element itself, while findIndex returns the index of the element. Find will return undefined if no match is found, whereas findIndex will return -1 if no match is found. Let's shift our focus to array iterator methods, namely keys, values, and entries. These methods provide different ways to iterate over array elements and their indices. These methods return iterator objects that can be used with for loops. All the methods return iterator objects, which are compatible with for loops, and can be converted to arrays using the spread operator. The keys method returns an iterator that contains the keys, or indices, of the array. The values method returns an iterator that contains the values of the array. The entries method returns an iterator that contains key value pairs for each element in the array. Now let's discuss breaking out of iterations. Knowing how to control the flow of your array operations is crucial for optimizing performance and implementing your logic effectively. The forEach method cannot be broken, as it must complete a full iteration over the array. However, methods like the for loop can use break and continue statements. The sum method will stop when the callback returns true, and the every method will stop when the callback returns false. Additionally, the find and findIndex methods stop when a first matching element is found. It's important to remember that return statements in forEach only exit the current iteration, and not the entire loop. You need to use other methods for early termination. You can also use array method chaining with early exits, such as using a filter, map and then a sum method to efficiently exit out of the array iteration. Let's talk about performance considerations and best practices when working with array methods. The for of loop is the fastest for simple iteration, especially when breaking is needed. forEach is very good when a full iteration is required. Map and filter have good performance when transformations are needed, while reduce performs moderately when you have complex accumulations. When using array methods, try to chain them efficiently. For example, use map then filter rather than filter then map to reduce the number of iterations. Use the appropriate methods based on the specific needs, such as find for a single item and filter for multiple items. Break early with sum or find instead of using forEach when you need to exit early. And finally, always try to cache the array length when using traditional loops such as the for loop by storing array.length in a variable. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.